biggest mistake that remodelers make in digital marketing is expecting immediate results. It's like going to the gym, working out for 3 hours really hard, and expecting six-pack abs.
You're listening to the Remodeler Digital Playbook, a show created to inspire remodeling contractors to achieve success in their remodeling business. I am your host, Ratna Ramakrishnan. I'm also the founder of Remodeler Digital, the digital marketing agency for remodeling contractors. In each episode, I'll be chatting with remodeling contractors and top experts discussing their proven methods for revenue generation, the insights they've gained, and the keys to remodeling success. And I'll be sharing my knowledge of how I created a 7-figure business using digital marketing. Hi, everyone. I'm excited to have world-renowned digital marketing guru, Dennis Yu, on the Remodeler Digital Playbook Podcast. Dennis is a trailblazer in the digital marketing realm with a knack for transforming the online presence of any local business, including remodeling contractors. I must say, I'm having an absolute fangirl moment with Dennis here as a guest.
What an honor, Ratna.
I have followed Dennis online and implemented his teachings for years. And one of his top strategies that I'm a fan of is the $1 a day with Facebook ads. Dennis was also my companion during the pandemic when he hosted Zoom sessions and shared knowledge on digital marketing. Dennis is not only the CEO of BlitzMetrics and YourContentFactory, he's also a brilliant digital marketer, a networker, a creator of several courses, a creator of million jobs, an ex-Yahoo engineer who built Yahoo's analytics. But most of all, what I adore about him is that he's a math genius. The way he looks at data and numbers is what makes him such a fantastic marketer. Welcome, Dennis, and thank you for joining.
Thank you. That was so kind of you.
Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have you. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you get into the field of marketing? What inspired you to become one of the digital marketing gurus in the world today?
I'm just a kid who's good at math. I enjoyed math, and like other Asians, I kicked butt at it. So I competed in math competitions, and I found that math and programming and building websites and running ads all kind of were the same kind of mechanical optimization. So I was lucky to find that things like PPC and SEO were a natural byproduct of just being good at math.
Yeah, I've heard you say this so many times, and my niche agency works with remodeling contractors who are innately math geniuses because of remodel, So yeah. They are also very curious when it comes to digital marketing, which is why I really enjoy working with them. So considering your extensive experience with Facebook's advertising platform, what do you believe is the value of Facebook ads for remodeling contractors today? Many remodeling contractors believe that Facebook's done and they should not be spending any time on Facebook. What is your take on it today?
Well, as a remodeling contractor, I would say what % of your jobs are coming through referrals? How important are your reviews? How often do people look you up before they go to your website or pick up the phone? And if reputation's important, and if you care about word of mouth in your city, then it's pretty hard to ignore Facebook. And so it's not that we are advocates of Facebook ads or advertising in general. We're advocates of the idea that Facebook and Google and TikTok and whatnot are really just amplifiers of what's already there. Mm-hmm. So if people already love you, and if you're really well known for remodeling high-end kitchens in, a particular part of town, then that word of mouth will spread. So if you do good work, and there's lots of provable examples of that, and clients that talk about it, and your staff is professional and whatnot, then Facebook's actually really easy. But if you are a new business and you don't have any reputation and you have negative reviews and you overcharge and you have to keep fixing things that are broken, then you're going to say that you don't like Facebook ads and you're going to say Facebook doesn't work and digital marketing and SEO doesn't work. You're right. because digital marketing is an amplifier of what's already working. And what's happened is, Ratna, in the last 3 years, Facebook has taken away detail targeting.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to be able to target people who had homes that had a particular kind of, sub-zero refrigerator in them, or more than 5,000 square feet, or they just moved in the last year, or they have this kind of roof, or they own this kind of pet. You used to do all kinds of crazy, clever targeting, which allowed you to do crazy, clever advertising. But with that being taken away, you can't use that same creative anymore because there's no targeting that's attached to it. So as a result, you have to rely upon what your technicians are saying. You have to rely upon kind of a behind the scenes, hey, we're working on a bathroom here, and look at like how we're going to, right now it looks like this and it's old, and we're going to put in a new sink here and put in a new like big jacuzzi tub, and we're going to, just like those like home and garden TV shows, right?
Right.
So if you make that kind of content that's interesting, there's going to be people that maybe right now they're not interested in remodeling, but they remember that and they bookmark that. And the wife sees it, and maybe they get their IRS tax rebate back or whatever, and then a month or two, like, hey, who was it that made the kitchen that was like that? Oh yeah, it was these guys. Then you're going to find that Facebook has an impact, but Facebook is not the same thing as what you see on Google, where someone types in remodeler near me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, someone's looking for remodeler right now. But Facebook influences people before they get to that point, because, Rathna, what's the average cost per click when someone's looking for kitchen remodeling or bath? What is it? $50 now? It's something crazy, isn't it?
We can get it to $18 to $20.
But still, right?
Yes.
So imagine, it's not an either or, but imagine people get a sense of your reputation, of the kind of work that you do, so that when they do that search for, average cost to remodel my kitchen or whatever, and they see 3 or 4 other contractors, they're going to choose the one that they've kind of more familiar with, right? And that's all it is. It's that simple. It's not this magic algorithm, optimize, say the abracadabra words. Like that's not what it is at all. What we're doing is we're just amplifying reputation, and there's a whole framework on how to do that.
Very cool. So I know content is the big piece of your strategy, and you're very big on data-driven content.
Yeah.
So, you were just talking about showing beautiful bathtubs and remodels. And
Yeah.
how do you think a remodeling contractor can use a data-driven content strategy when they're trying to build their online presence? Like top 3 things that they could do easily.
Number 1 is take your cell phone and just capture 15-second videos behind the scenes. Just showing as you're driving up to the house, showing the materials, showing the consultation with the client as they're picking out, I want it to look like this or like that, showing your team as they're working on it, and it's in progress, so you can see like things are kind of, whatever, in raw material state, and just capture little moments along the way. And what you'll find is if you capture these little moments, not professionally, don't think like, you got to hire a videographer, some Hollywood camera guy. Like, no, just you and your cell phone, right? Narrate it, talk about it, kind of just to explain like what's going on, 15 seconds at a time. Then when you put that on Facebook, which includes Instagram, which is part of Facebook, you put it on YouTube Shorts, which is videos that are vertical, under a minute. You're going to find that 1 or 2 of those videos will cause people to comment, and they'll say, what does it cost to have a bathroom like that? Or what kind of sink are they using? Or that's really cool, that color. Or do you think you could do that for me? Or do you're going to find people are going to comment, but only on certain videos. And just if you're a data-driven person, you're going to notice a pattern. And when there's a certain pattern of what you're known for, like maybe you have the granite countertops. I don't know. I don't know anything about remodeling. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're really you're known for doing like luxury remodels where they tear down the house and they make it really nice after. I don't know, whatever it is like you're known for, right? It should tie with your reputation. The thing that starts to resonate, the thing is, if you don't make, number 1, if you don't make those little 15-second videos, you have no way of even like figuring out which things are resonating. But when you find, number 2, when you find those things are resonating, you put $1 a day against it. Very, very easy. In just that neighborhood. That's it. No need to target by homeowner or high income or married or any of the car they drive. Like, no, just target in the city. That's it. And then the system is going to optimize for you because it's already started to learn who's engaging on your content. Number 3 is you run Facebook lead ads. So a lead ad is where Facebook natively fills out that form or pre-fills the form for you. So your completion rate is tripled, as you know. And then it might be here's the budget guide to remodeling your house in 2024, or 15 beautiful kitchens. Like, I'll put in my email address to get this thing with 15 beautiful kitchens because people watch, it's like food porn. They watch the cooking shows. They watch the home shows. You've collected a lead, right? So now you've brought it from Facebook into your email list, into your phone number, into your website, right? And you do these 3 things. Use things like Leads Bridge, use the remarketing pixel, use the conversion API, use the different tools. Rathna will set it up for you, of course. Use her agency, right? Now you've got this thing all the way connected. You have the evidence, the signal of what you do, because most people don't have the videos and pictures, so they're not even in the game. So you can't even complain if you've not made the videos because you've not even given the system what it needs. Number 2, you have to pay $1 a day. So that means $7 per piece of content because you're testing it for a week. $7, you're just putting $7 against each piece of content just to try to collect some data, right, to see what's winning. And then you drive leads off of the best performers because people are going, once they kind of see who you are, you've developed enough trust, and you have what's called a lead magnet, as you know. Something that is good enough to collect an email address, to get a quote, to have a free consultation. Let's take a look at your house and see what might be possible. Maybe you work with a real estate agent as a partner on, hey, let's figure out what your house is worth. Oh, you're looking to sell your house? Maybe if you remodel the kitchen, it's going to be worth more, right?
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing that insight. When you think about localized SEO, it is the most common question that remodeling contractors ask me. They all want to be on page 1 of Google. What can I do? How can I win in the SEO game? How do you, become best friends with the Google algorithm? What comes to your mind when you think about those, local SEO service-based businesses that are serving between a 30 to 50 mile radius and really want to rank on Google search? What do you think they should be focusing their energy on?
Local SEO is really simple. First off, because you only have to win in your neighborhood. Now, unless you are in downtown LA or Manhattan or some like ultra competitive area, it's actually really easy. If I want to win on, kitchen remodeler near me and I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, there's not that many other contractors to beat. I only have to beat people in the area. So if I want to win in local SEO, I have to send a signal that has 2 parts. One is I have to show that I'm a competent remodeler in the thing that they're looking for. I want to remodel my bathroom. Okay. And B, this is where people miss. I need to show that I have the signal for that geo, for that particular city. So if I'm in, Denton, Texas, then I need to show here's all the different kinds of bathrooms and homes and kitchens and patios and whatever it is that I've done in Denton, Texas, right? So you have to send that local signal. If I look at your site and maybe you do have lots of pictures and videos and all the different jobs that you've done, but it doesn't mention the city. If I go look at your reviews on your Google My Business, which is now called Google Business Profile, and I see people are saying working with Mr. Smith was great, but it doesn't say, and he came to my home in Irving, Texas, or whatever it is, and he fixed my bathroom. You have to show the geo and you have to show what you did, right? So what kind of remodeling and what city? And if you're in Dallas, Dallas has many cities. Irving, McKinney, Highland Park, Oak Cliff. You have to show the name of the city. So Google is looking for the signal, the specifics of that particular geo. Because if all the reviews are, 5 stars, they were a really great contractor, that doesn't carry as much weight. If it has pictures, if it mentions the city, if it mentions details about the job, and I had my kitchen redone and it took them 4 weeks, and here's some of the specifics of what they did to my kitchen, right? Look at this beautiful stove. Now we have this island in the middle, then that's just way more powerful. And you would think that's some magic thing, but My friend Darren runs White Spark. You know about White Spark. And
I
every
love
year,
it.
actually, he's on my podcast tomorrow.
Oh,
Every year they release the local search ranking factors.
yes.
And it's come out that the reviews, like why should this be a surprise? The reviews that actually mention the city and have real pictures and whatnot carry a lot more weight than the other ones. Surprise.
You're talking about reviews on the Google business profile, which sits on the
Yeah.
Google search page.
And then taking it, so if you have a GMB, Google gives you a free one-page website.
Mhm.
So don't you think that the website that Google gives you is going to help you in ranking? Of course it is. So fill it out, right? Most people don't even fill that out.
Yep.
It blows my mind. It's free. Why wouldn't you do it?
What's your take on stock photos? It's a very common question that
I don't like stock photos. If you're in a competitive space, the more competitive, the more. Here's the way to be able to tell. You go to anybody's website for your own, a location service page, for example. You right-click on that image and perform a Google image search, and you see where else that stock photo is being used. It's not that you're going to get dinged on it, but it certainly isn't a mark of trust. Why? Because Google has updated their search quality guidelines based on EEAT, right? Experience, expertise, authority, trust. So the extra E for experience means you have to show your real experience, like real photos and pictures. If you show this happy, smiley family in front of the house with the perfect grass, like that's not real. And Google knows it's not real because all you got to do is right-click and search Google Images, and you can see 50 other remodeling places use that same stock photo, Getty Images, whatever it is.
Right. So even if it's not a pretty picture or, the best lighting.
Real always does better. Consumers see right through that fake stuff anyway. Like, I get it. Like, if you're in IT and it's hard to describe, like security or whatever, so you have to show like one of every race around the conference room celebrating over the chart that's going up. What a like, you've seen those. What a ridiculous picture. But when you're in someone's home and you can tell when it's actually someone's home. You can tell if it's a stock art picture. And it subconsciously tells people, if they see on your website it's a bunch of stock art, it's telling people, I don't know if this contractor is real or not. It might be some spammer in India trying to get my information. Like, how do I know they're going to show up? Is it going to be a real person that shows up, or that fake guy smiling stock art happy family with the 2 kids picture thing?
Right. Yep. Great point. Yep. So if you were managing a digital campaign for a remodeling contractor, what metrics would you focus on the most?
I care about the number of calls that are at least 1 minute. Forms are great. That's great. You get traffic. That's great. You rank on keywords. It's great. Your cost per click is down to $18. All those things are diagnostic metrics. I care about money. I need to see that the contractor is making money, and I need to see that that's increasing. And if I know that I get a certain number of phone, maybe one remodeler, they're doing, $1 million a year, which is $83,000 a month. And their goal for 2024 is $1.3 million a year, let's say. Okay. So they have to make $100,000, $103,000 per month. Well, if I know that 1 in 3 phone calls results in a job, and the average job is $20,000, then I've got to drive an additional, 2 more jobs per month. And that means I got to get 6 more phone calls. So if I get 6 more phone calls, in order to get 6 phone calls, it'll be this many clicks or these many GMB visits or this much. Like, I can back into the math of what I need to do to be able to drive a quality phone call, so I can then deliver an estimate, and then an expert, half of the estimates turn into a job, whatever the number is, right? It's very simple math. And it's not only for remodelers. It's for any service company. It's for HVAC companies. It's garage door companies, right? The idea that it goes through some kind of quoting process. Like the lead, a phone call of a certain length turns into a lead. Then that quote gets accepted, and then we complete the job. And hopefully we don't refund it or have to, rework it, or we have a problem or something like that.
I've never heard you say that 1 minute duration of a call. Why do you think that a minute is important?
It used to, the last 10, 15 years, we've said 1 minute too, but it's become especially important now because there's so many spam, AI, robocalls, digital agencies that are calling in saying, hey, what would you do with an extra 10 leads per month or whatever? And they're clogging up the actual, line or whatnot,
Main
which
line.
messes up all the marketing metrics, which of course pisses off the agency and pisses off the people answering the phone, right? Because it ruins their stats. But generally, if the call is at least a minute, it's probably a quality phone call. Because if
Right.
it's a reschedule, if it's a wrong number, if it's to offer a service that, hey, do you guys clean chimneys? No, we don't do that, right? Oh, well, you're not going to talk to them for a minute, right? So if they're on the phone for at least a minute,
It's a
and,
true lead.
and you can see through the call rail or through the, Google calls, you can see whether it's legit or not. So I like to look at calls that are at least a minute.
Excellent. Excellent tip. I've been speaking lately to a lot of young, up and coming contractors. They've had other professions. They've always had a love for remodeling, and
Right.
they're, trying to get into the remodeling niche. And if you're a very, not age wise, but, a young business that's just getting launched, what do you think are key things, foundational steps that they should prioritize, from a business perspective as well as a digital marketing perspective?
When you're small, you don't have the money to waste on branding or on social media or things like that because you're small and you're doing everything you can to try to grow, and you face a chicken and egg where you need the money to be able to pay your people, to be able to, do marketing, to do all these other things. Without money, the wheel doesn't turn. So there's nothing better than making sure that you take care of every single client and document what you're doing. Not because you're like legalistic, but because you want to make sure you have this reputation, even if you have fewer reviews than some other guy who has like 500 reviews on their GMB and you have like 3 reviews because you're small. But if the reviews you have are higher quality and you take really good care of those customers, people are going to choose you over this other company that's been doing it a long time and has 500 reviews.
Right.
And that turns into content that you can repurpose. That turns into things that you can put on social. Not because you want 10,000 followers or some vanity metric, but because you know that's going to send a signal to Google, because Google's going to pick it up when you take those little videos on your cell phone and you push it to Twitter and you push it to Instagram Reels and you push it to TikTok. They've got to show the TikTok pieces because they don't want to get in trouble for antitrust. So Google doesn't want to show things from Facebook or TikTok or whatever, but they have to because they have to show that they're balanced and that kind of thing. So use that to your advantage. If you're small, you have to market a little harder. You have to demonstrate that you go the extra mile.
Awesome. On the flip side, if there is a very large contractor that wants to build, multi-million-dollar custom homes,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what is the value in that contractor having a presence on LinkedIn, building an online profile on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn to some degree, but higher end custom homes, maybe you'll have more maybe people who are higher income are more likely to be on LinkedIn, but I think that's going to be more for referrals. So you're a remodeler, you need to have relationships with the general contractors, with the builders, with the real estate agents, with, when someone moves into a new house, they'll often want to redo it their way because they don't like the way the previous guy had the bathroom with the pink in there in a certain way, right? So it's like LinkedIn is great for building those B2B relationships which generate the referrals, especially for higher end custom homes and all that, for sure. But I don't think LinkedIn is as strong for like direct consumer referral.
Got it. So do you think it's worthwhile for a remodeling contractor to have a business page or a profile on LinkedIn?
All of it, yeah. Because reputation is important, and it will still show up when people Google your name, your LinkedIn, your company name, your personal name shows up.
Excellent.
Hey, remodeling contractors, every tip and strategy we discuss on this podcast stems from working exclusively with internet marketing for remodelers. I created Remodeler Digital to share that expertise and to be a part of your success story. Think of us as your digital partners, always here to lend a hand. Visit remodelerdigital.com and let's build your digital future one strategy at a time.
So what are some of the common digital marketing mistakes you see, home service-based businesses make, and what do you think they can do to avoid them?
Biggest mistake that remodelers make in digital marketing is expecting immediate results. It's like going to the gym, working out for 3 hours really hard and expecting six-pack abs. And of course, the people that sell SEO will say, oh, well, SEO takes time and all that. It's true. But there's this round and round that occurs when the underlying home service business doesn't understand what they're getting from their digital marketing company. So if you don't own your own ad accounts and analytics and website, you're in trouble. Just because you could be held hostage and all that. And I've heard all the reasons for why, agencies don't give you access. I imagine you provide full access, transparency, right? It's very, very important. And don't get me started about nightmares that have happened when that doesn't happen. That's number one. Number two is I want to hold my agency accountable to performance metrics, not on how many clicks, not how many keywords, not how many followers, but how many phone calls of at least 1 minute they drove. And then I want to trace those back to the sources. Did it come from PPC? If it was PPC, was it brand or was it non-brand? And if it was from Facebook or whatnot, then what was the quality of the lead? I need to be able to take the phone calls that were at least 1 minute long, move forward, and how many of those were ones that, we did a proposal and they accepted, and go back into where those leads came from. So I got to go forwards and backwards from the 1 minute call.
The source of the lead. Okay.
And, if it's whatever CRM that's in, maybe it's like a Service Titan or something, Service Titan allows you to track these things. Doesn't matter what the system is. But I would always start with where those jobs are being quoted and where the money's being collected, then trace back from there into Google Analytics, into the ad systems and whatnot. And then the third piece is, and agencies don't like it when I mention this, but I love it when clients can come in and they can go click on the change history inside the Google ads and click on the change history inside Facebook ads to see, is anyone looking at my ad accounts? And maybe the ad accounts are great and no one's touched it for months and they're still improving. I still want to know if nobody's looking at my ad account.
We go into our ad accounts almost every week and some of the higher spend every day. And we track cost per lead and spend every week. Yeah.
Even if it's set up properly, sometimes, you got to be paying attention. Some weird thing happens. You get a disapproval. Some ad goes out of control. The budget gets spent. Some weird stuff happens all the time,
Yep. Yeah. It's not a set it and forget it kind of a marketing game when you're trying to, do ad spend.
And the fact, Rathna, you mentioned that is really great because most agencies are scared to death when we bring this topic up. So the fact that you're like, yep, we welcome clients to go in anytime. We stand behind our work. Go in and see. You can see that we are watching.
I recently had one of my general contractors bring in a marketing analyst to audit our Google ads, and we passed with flying colors. So I am an open book, happy to have anybody come in and take a look at our work. And we're all human. If you find opportunity, I'm happy to take feedback and work on it. So
And if you're a remodeler, isn't the same thing? Like, don't you, like, if you're good at remodeling and you don't do a shoddy job, wouldn't you invite other people to come inspect your work and say like, wow, these guys they didn't cut any corners. They did a great job.
Absolutely. I actually have a contractor who invites leads that are on the fence to one of his client homes to see the quality of the work in person. So very similar what you're proposing. I love it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Because there's good and bad remodelers. There are ones where like it's all crooked and they try to hide it with all the caulk or whatever it is. Like, come on, right?
Right.
Like
right.
you didn't cut that properly. Like that clearly is like you need to redo that. Okay.
Yep. Is there a favorite AI tool that you use on a daily basis, and what do you use it for?
I use mainly a combination of Descript and ChatGPT. Descript is a Swiss Army knife of processing video, and all the tools, even the WordPress plugins are building in AI, even Infusionsoft and ActiveCampaign and all these guys, everybody has AI integrated. Vendasta has AI integrated in their stuff, right? So I don't think that there's going to be, in a year from now, just like one AI tool that's just an AI tool. I think we will use some of the existing tools that we've been using just because we're creatures of habit and we have a process, and those existing tools will have AI in them. I think that's where it's going to have to go because we're moving from generative AI, which is conversations with the chatbot, into action driven bots where we're actually responding to the customer. We're actually doing the work. We're actually manufacturing. We're actually doing the ordering. We're sending out the Ubers. We're doing all like the ability to take action is way beyond the let's have a clever conversation. And the integration into operational systems that make that happen, call centers or whatnot, that's really where the magic begins, and that will happen in the next few months.
Wow. Very good.
Even McDonald's is doing testing right now where the order taking is being done by the AI. And the food is being made by the AI. I was in Sydney, Australia at one McDonald's where the food is made with robots. There's no humans in there.
Wow.
It's taking the order and it's making the food, so they can't screw up your order.
Right. It's just programmed to deliver the recipe, right?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's not going to replace the remodeler, but it's going to replace a lot of the marketing agencies that serve the remodeling companies.
Yep. So time management is a big issue for a lot of service-based business owners. And when I look at your lifestyle of how much you travel and how many stages you speak on and how many time zones you're in, I'm sure you have some tricks up your sleeve when it comes to time management. Do you have any favorite strategies that you're willing to share?
I manage less on time and I manage on energy. So manage your energy. I heard Elon Musk say this last year when people say, like, how do you decide which things that you decide to do or not do? And he says, I don't look at it by how much time it takes, but I look at how much energy it requires. And so I do everything I can to increase my energy. So because of that, I try to get a full night's sleep. I have this Whoop band and it tells me what time to go to bed and it tells me when to wake up and all of these things. And even though I might work less than most people, I would argue that my impact is higher because I'm always managing my energy level. Because you ever have a day where, you work 14 hours, you work really hard, but you really didn't get much done, right? So it's not, you're not a factory worker. It's not how many hours you put in. It's not how many times you hit the hammer. It's when you are a thought, when it's about reputation, when it's about quality. That homeowner, they don't care whether that job took 200 hours or 100 hours, right? I mean, if you can get it done in less hours and do a better job, even better. But it's not like they want you to take twice as long. So don't think of it as like how many hours it took, right?
Yep. Great idea. So is this Whoop band very similar to the Aura Ring? Does it
Whoop and
practice?
Aura are the same thing, basically. You want a ring or you want a watch. If you're already wearing an Apple Watch, you probably don't want another watch, so you get the Aura ring. But Apple next year, supposedly, with the 10-year anniversary of the Apple Watch, is going to come out with the whole EKG on a wrist. They bought this other company for several $billion that does all of these things, but they've been very slow in releasing this. So that's why I've been wearing these things, because I'm waiting for Apple to come out with theirs.
So it tracks your sleep. It gives you data on your...
Does all kinds of fitness, but mainly more sleep things that you're going to get out more than like an Apple Watch or something else. Like basically it's Whoop and Aura until Apple next year comes out with theirs.
Very cool. Very cool. So please share some fun details about yourself, where you were born, what you like to do for fun, perhaps a favorite book.
Oh, well, I love this book. It's on TikTok. It's the number one best-selling book in social, co-authored by Perry Marshall and myself.
Oh.
And we love to have fun. We celebrated my birthday, October 6th in Chicago, where he is. We ate Mexican food together. And I like to eat. That's like my favorite thing to do. Wherever I go, I've traveled in so many countries and it allows me to eat the craziest sorts of food you've never heard of. And I'm always willing to try. What is this? Don't worry about it. It tastes like chicken. Just eat it. All right, I'll eat it. It tastes great. What is it? It's rattlesnake. That's okay. That's cool.
Oh boy.
I've eaten all kinds of weird things, but yeah, just eat it. Just chew. It tastes like chicken. It tastes like chicken. Yep, tastes like chicken.
That's funny. I saw your post from Pakistan where you were eating some street food and those pictures looked amazing. So
it was good. I didn't get sick once. I tried everything on the street. I had corn chowder on the street. These other like corn things. They have a lot of corn on the street for some reason, but I love it.
So seasoned corn.
Yeah.
And then what else do you like to do for fun?
I like to go to the trampoline park, which I'm going to next, so I can play full court basketball.
Wow.
So I'll burn 3,000 calories in about 3 hours.
Wow. Your legs must be strong if you're playing in trampoline park.
I've run marathons. I've run 2 marathons in the last 3 months. I've lost 54 pounds in the last year.
Congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, I was huge. I'm less huge now.
You focused on self-care and looking after yourself, which is priority.
Yeah. And then business goes better too. I've seen a lot of people where they've just ruined their health because they're focusing so much on their business. And it's very sad to make that trade-off, as you know. But I've seen these folks, some of my friends, turn it around where they thought like they had to work 16, 18 hours a day because of all these business things, but they were just so tired. They didn't see as clearly. They weren't working as effectively. They could have delegated more, right? They didn't hire the right people because they just were just so tired themselves. And now a friend of mine has a $45 million a year business in plumbing, and he's having the time of his life because he's learned how to delegate these other components out.
Fantastic.
And it's all about people management. You know, I look at all the guys who are growing, and it's all people management. Like all doesn't matter. You could be a digital marketer, you could be a pest control company, you could be whatever. It's all a people game.
Yep. Who, not how.
Exactly.
Very cool. You know, I've been tracking your oxygen baths. Can you speak a little bit about that?
That's my favorite thing to do. I got a place here in Vegas just so I could do the oxygen baths. Because I've been flying to Vegas for the last 20 something years to speak at conferences. Because, you know, the big conventions are here in Vegas. And a friend of mine told me about this place. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't believe anytime people make health claims, especially friends of mine that are celebrities, I don't believe anything, you know, because like, who are you to be trying to give me advice on health? You're a movie actor. You don't know anything about health, right? But I learned about this cocoon thing, and I've seen friends of mine recover from horrific accidents and terminal cancer where the doctor said, that's it. You have 4 months left to go. Just like wrap up everything. You're done. And I've seen people come out the other side. And I said, what is going on here?
Are these hyperbaric, like those chambers, or is it just...
No, they do have hyperbaric chambers there, but it's an oxygen bath. So you get inside a bath. It's kind of like a jacuzzi, but the water, the oxygen pressure is high in the water. So it feels almost like you're wrapped in a blanket and you're more buoyant and you float a little bit, but it's not a float tank. But the pressure is so high of the oxygen that it just forces its way into your tissues.
And how do you
and
feel after?
You feel, well, I feel amazing. Like I can go there off of just a few hours of sleep. And then when I come out, I feel like I had a full night's sleep. Other people that maybe they have some kind of horrible chronic illness, they come out very tired. Because when the oxygen comes into their system, the immune system, the mitochondria starts activating, and then they start a detox and the toxins come out. And you can see like often a ring around the edge of the bathtub of things that have come out.
Wow.
Right? When and some people will look at this and they'll be ashamed, and I'll say, don't worry, it's not because you have like poor hygiene or you didn't shower properly. Those are toxins that are coming out. So people who have cancer, for example, the color will be slightly green. And depending on what they have, it might be like yellow or brown or other kinds of colors.
Just good old oxygen. Amazing.
Yeah. And it's just the body healing itself. All it is just giving oxygen to the body. Whatever the body does when the immune system's stronger, it's able to take care of certain issues, then that's between you and your body. But I've done over 1,000 of these oxygen baths. I do 2 or 3 every day. And it's my favorite thing to do.
How long is a bath?
An hour.
Nice. So it's like super meditation, because when you meditate, you get those oxygen levels.
Yeah, you do that too. Or like me, I do Zoom calls. I'm answering emails, you know. Other people, they sit and watch Netflix. You get your own room so you can relax. You can meditate. Like you can do whatever you want with that time.
Amazing. I've been following you on social media and so intrigued by that. So thank you for sharing that.
Well, you have to try it.
Yes, I'm very intrigued to try it now.
And then you got to tell me how it feels. You know, it's like one thing to hear what someone else is doing, but when you get in there and you try it, when you come out, tell me how you feel.
Will do. Yeah, it's so encouraging to hear that it has so much healing, that people that are suffering.
It's not magic, right? If you get in a car accident and you're about to die or something, it's not going to save you. But if your immune system is weak if you're fighting off some kind of condition, if there's something where your body can, like if a younger Rathna, if a 25-year-old Rathna gets
I'm
sick,
just 25. What are you talking about, Dennis?
25, you're going to you're just going to be so much stronger and so much better, right?
Got it. Yep.
That's all it is. Strengthen your immune system. And then your brain, your focus, all of it becomes better.
Your journey has just been amazing to follow. I'm so
Thank you.
inspired by your weight loss and, how much you're looking after yourself, right? Because that's priority. And
How does
especially
everything?
especially people in the home services businesses, they work hard. So
Yeah.
it's just a fantastic message to get across. So finally, Dennis, what's one piece of advice you'd give to remodeling contractors going into 2024? What can they do for significant impact to, get those high quality leads and crush those revenue numbers that they dream of?
You need to Google yourself and make sure that you are Googleable. So you could have Rathna and she can do your digital marketing and all that. But either way, you've got to Google yourself and make sure that your business is showing up in the maps. Make sure your name is showing up. Make sure your website loads quickly. Make sure you can get a knowledge panel if you can. Like Google my name, you'll see a whole knowledge panel pop up, right? All the colored little boxes, right?
Amazing.
And because of the way Google is rolling out search generative experience and their kind of response to ChatGPT, you're going to see these colored boxes pop up everywhere. And search is no longer about these 10 blue links and trying to be on page 1. That was so 10 years ago. Now it's about being part of the consolidated answer that Google provides that pulls from a variety of sources and images and videos and social media, all of it, because people are accustomed to the idea. You ask a question, ChatGPT gives you a consolidated answer, right? So you've got to be able to Google yourself to watch what shows up for your name and for the queries that you want to rank on. And then when you see this happen, you'll remember that we talked about this here, that Rath and I talked about Google results are changing significantly, and you've got to be able to Google yourself and see what's popping up, which will then cause you to say, well, how come my competitor has a knowledge panel? How come my GMB is showing up here versus there? How come this other video is showing on Kitchen Remodeler's city name?
So you're talking about knowledge panel for the general contractor.
Yeah, knowledge
For the
panels are for
human.
anything. It's for your name as a person. It's for your name of a business. It's for the generative search results, which are dynamic knowledge panels, right? Knowledge panels pop every time you see those colored little boxes. Those are knowledge panels.
Yep. So human beings, processes, all of it.
Any noun that can factually be verified. Anything that you can associate facts with, like a place or a book or a movie or an actor or a person, like all of these things, a phone number, a picture, those are all objects that are part of what's called the knowledge graph. So Google pulls everything out of the knowledge graph, and the items they service in the search results are called knowledge panels.
Got it.
Not everything in the knowledge graph becomes a knowledge panel.
I see. Very cool. If somebody is being introduced to you for the very first time from listening to this podcast and is intrigued to learn more, stay in touch, where do you recommend they go?
Google me, and whatever thing that pops up that you want to engage with, you want to connect on LinkedIn or Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, happy to connect.
Excellent. I really appreciate your time, Dennis. Thank you for joining me here and sharing all of this wisdom.
Thank you.
Podcast is ready. I will share it with you.
And then turn it into a URL so that when I type in Rathna and Dennis, this pops up to the top, right? The mark of how good we are at SEO is when we repurpose content, does it show up when we Google it?
Fantastic. Fantastic.
If you would like to generate more leads through your digital marketing efforts, please visit remodelerdigital.com and check the workshop section for video training and guides on everything from running effective pay-per-click ads and how to have your website be best friends with the Google algorithm. Also sign up for a 15-minute discovery call with me to run an online snapshot report of your remodeling business. This has been another successful episode of the Remodeler Digital Playbook. Thanks for listening.